approaches and has a hit. Jack McGlynn! That is an absolute banger to draw this game level.
Welcome in. Boy, that Jack McGlynn video, it's been a while since he's really done anything. It's kind of sad. Might have to change that intro if something doesn't change here. Philly's on the ropes. Daniel, what's happening? Everyone like upon arrival. I appreciate that. First up, Ronan, as always, good morning. Welcome in. Appreciate you guys coming in. It never gets old. Yeah, never gets old, but boy, Philly needs to do something because tough schedule. Not going to catch Montreal and DC. Man, DC with the unbelievable Pirani smash. Just in the box, quick shot. Nashville just imploded. Crazy. Philly is always on the rope, sadly. Yes. Red or dead, what's happening? How we doing? And so my abilities lineups. Yeah. I haven't looked at a single thing as far as my lineups other than I've just been grinding over the last 24 hours. Yeah. To get lineups out and rolling. So as you come in, as always, if you have any questions, MLS style, hit me with them. Boy, we're kind of flying in the dark. We don't really have much news. I tried to get some clips from pressers, post-game pressers, but again, they don't really talk about anything because they don't know at the time. So yeah, we're really flying pretty crazy. So I'm actually going to start, instead of going through that, we're going to take a look at the playoff status. This is playoffstatus.com. If you're looking for something like that. Chelsea kid. Yeah, I'm not a Chelsea fan, but this is a Drogba, huge Drogba guy. So whenever I was in college, this is from then, 2011 maybe. So I'm not a Chelsea fan. I just big Drogba fan. My roommate from college, huge Chelsea fan. So watched a lot of the games, and kind of whenever I was getting into the EPL, more heavily than, just a casual, but not a Chelsea fan, just Drogba, and that's who's on it. Claudio Brava, he's going to be a toss-up for sure. I know Kamal Miller's played a ton, so he could also get rested. So it's kind of like a toss-up, but it seems like it's going every other with Bravo, just to keep him kind of healthy. Zupark at left center back, and then Araujo on the right center back is kind of how I project it, but I have him at 50%, which is tough. And Swiderski, Ajiman could start, but just based on current form and everything, I think I am at 70%. Let me double check on that. A lot of things are just kind of swirling. Let's see. Swiderski, I have at, let's see as it loads. 70%. Yeah, I went Ajiman 30%. Could be a little bit different on that. But yeah, the jersey means I need to tell you, come on, you Spurs. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, I don't really have an EPL team. I watch Liverpool. I watch, I watch a lot of it, but I don't have a team. I've been watching a lot of Brighton lately. Just kind of, I don't know. Phil Neville terrorism. Yeah. Everything's on the line. You would think they want to seal it, but yeah, it's tough. Berkey and McCarthy, can they start the game? So Berkey, to be honest, Lunt played pretty well, but it could be back just because kind of it was like a rotation. Right now I have Lunt at 60%, just personally, but I didn't watch the presser. Just Heat does the predictions. So he has him as Berkey at 90%. So I would go with him over me, definitely. Just he's a St. Louis fan. He knows a lot more than I do there. So Berkey seems safe. One thing on St. Louis is Hackworth is trying to get that job. So he's going to really coach them all the way through, even though they have nothing to play for. And that's what I'm going to kind of pull up, who has which situations. Saw it came on midweek, looked good, 60%. So I have him to start, right? I just think there is some risk that he doesn't start. A lot of this depends on, is Yedlin going to be that right center back? So that kind of makes it a little bit difficult. And, Assad played 45 minutes at half. That feels good. Just kind of, they've kind of been babying him coming off that MCL injury. He's only started one match, but this does seem like a start for him. So Orejano played on the right wing back, Yedlin at right center back, especially with the center back injuries that they've had. So that's kind of the decision on that. Could I be a little bit higher? Sure. It's just, there's some risk there. Maybe I go 70%, but 60 to 70% isn't, I guess, a little bit of a difference, but I'm going to stick with 60 at the time. And then I didn't talk about McCarthy. Back to this one. Mikovic could start for sure. They had that big issue with him. So are they going to give him some games? But he complained and threw a big fit, and it's been McCarthy ever since. So I lean McCarthy 80% and Mikovic 20%. That's brutal. Vargas, I'm a Vargas owner as well. Brutal. Raul, let's go. What's happening? Good to hear from you. Good to see you in here. Absolutely. Anytime for your help. So let's get into this playoff picture. Just this is playoffstats.com. It kind of takes implied probabilities of the next matches. It's pretty solid, and it just kind of gives you all the information that you need. And that's kind of what I like to use. Just to kind of get a good idea of, okay, is anyone playing for anything? What's the kind of questions there? So Messi and Suarez, there's some risk there. Suarez a little bit more risk than Messi, just based on the congested fixtures, kind of everything there. Going to Toronto, but again, they're going for the points record. So Messi's a little bit safer. I have him at 70%, and Suarez I have at 60%. We could see Campana start. It's just there's been so many fixtures in a row. There's some risk. I do have them both as starters, but again, a little bit of risk there. And it's, it's going to kind of be everyone have some risk based on short rest and pretty much no news. So that's kind of brutal. Daniel Cooper, what's happening? Good to hear from you. I'm good. How are you? Ricky Pooge and Carlos Hill safe. And Acosta, all three of those guys should be safe, barring something crazy. I believe I'm 90% on all three of those guys. So, yeah. Philly really going to stumble over the line? It wasn't. They were actually in good form prior to this match. That Miami lost, sure. But at New York City, who look like world beaters right now, DC 4-0. The draw against Atlanta is going to really come back to bite them. They needed all 3 points there. But yeah, Orlando, they weren't supposed to win that match. They need to get it, but very tough, very tough. The last two matches are not friendly, that's for sure. So yeah, they could definitely not make it. Toronto's on their last match and they play Inter Miami, so hopefully they lose. DC's got a pretty good chance here as well. It's a pretty big toss up. So as a Philly fan, it's, you're not feeling good about it. That's for sure. Vander for MVP. Absolutely. Sounders to rotate. Yeah. So they definitely could. Schmetzer is always good for a rotation, but they're a lot of these teams need these matches bad. And Seattle is no different. So if you take a look at Seattle right now, they're tied with Salt Lake on points, and then Dynamo are 2 behind. This third and fourth spot, and even I know they've played a game more than LAFC, but everyone wants that home advantage. Every place you're up gets you, if you get that second seed, the following round, if you're LAFC and you're playing the Sounders, you get that home advantage. That's huge, especially in the one game as we get further on. It's just huge in the grand scheme of things. So all these teams that are in the bunch, they've already qualified for the playoffs, which is great, but they really want to get that home field advantage. So as far as the Sounders, I have De La Vega in for Georgie. Georgie started on the right mid position. But other than that, as far as starters, I don't have any other changes, but there's some risk over several positions. But in theory, they should start all of them. It's just kind of no one looks injured, which is good. You're not going to see some of these guys go 90, but most guys should be able to go. FBO, what's happening? It's good. It's good. How are you? Arango, he should be safe. Should be. I believe him. Let's see. Got to make sure. Yeah, 80% on him. The only issue I have is the crazy amount of rotation for RSL that they've had lately. Could they give Anderson Julio a spot start? But at the same time, we have a break until decision day, the last match. So in theory, if they can get through it, they should be kind of good to go. If you kind of look at his, like Diego Luna, like him coming off the bench last match was surprising after only going 61 minutes. They just have some surprising things after, Andres Gomez left, and some of these guys they've sold. It's just kind of a different looking team that they've been rotating down the stretch. So I have an 80%. I don't think anyone's safe outside of your like Ricky Puig, like the three guys that were mentioned above, and some other 90%ers. But yeah, it's tough. White, Kubas, Veselinovic expect to start. Vancouver's really tough. They rotate like crazy, which makes them really hard. So if we kind of look at their last, and they did have the Canadian Championship in between here, but like you see these sub appearances along the back line, so they've rotated through there. So like in theory, is it Blackman's turn now to rotate on the back line? Veselinovic is very important, but he had a pretty poor game. He has been a sub a couple times this year, just kind of out of nowhere, but one was Leagues Cup, and I think the other one was, just a random one, like a week off, and then they played. So, that's tough there. And Kubas, him coming back from his quad injury and he had a shoulder injury in between there, went 71 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised if, he started or was off the bench. I believe, let me pull up Vancouver. And we don't get any news. Hard journalism is good. Hard journalist, is good, but we just don't have any news whatsoever. So it's just a guessing game. Kubas, I went 80% for now. I could be a little high on that. We're going to have DNPs left and right here. It's just really tough. Veselinovic, 80% as well, and then White, 80%. So those three guys of that team, they're the three safest, but safe doesn't mean anything whenever we have this congested of fixtures. McMath, your best guess is my best guess. I have him as the starter just based on Beavers' performances. He kind of lost it. We don't know rest of matches. It's a game-by-game decision. If he kind of, it could be Beavers next match. We really just don't know, which is really brutal if you own either of them. I didn't want to get into any of them all year, last year. It just kind of, that was a situation that you just kind of want to avoid if you can. But if you have those players, I lean McMath. I think I went 70-30. Again, I'll double check here. All my predictions are available on any of the following: Sorare Inside Predictorfy or Sorare Probabilities. So if you're looking for those percents, they are all there. So 75% on McMath and 25% on Beavers is what I ended up at. Brian Vera, spit in the face of Boxall. Last match, it was disgusting. It was terrible. So I don't expect him to play the rest of the regular season, maybe even the playoffs. That's just, I don't know how many games he's going to get. That's bad, though. So let's go into, I'm going to do the East first. Just talk about the playoff picture. Who has something to play for? Yeah. Inter Miami have already clinched. They won the Supporters Shield, as you probably already know. But they're going for that all-time points record, and they need to win, their last two matches to get there. So I think if they win at Toronto on Saturday, they're going to put out their entire, starters. But it's kind of weird with the international break where we're going to have like a 2-week break. And then, in theory, everyone should be fine. And you will want to not get out of rhythm because they're going to get a bye as well. So you might have starters play maybe like 60 minutes or something like that, that final match too. But that kind of makes it interesting. And then Crew should get second. They're up a point and they have a game in hand on Cincy. Crazier things can happen. but you can see here 91%. It's them at 2 and 3, so you don't really have to really look at anyone there. They're not going to fall any further. Then you got 4th, 5th, and 6th, all in that 49, 47, 47. So there is, Orlando City with that win over Philly. They kind of are looking a little bit closer to that 4th seed, but New York City FC is right there. Red Bulls, they finally found how to score. That's great. And Charlotte hanging around there as well. So, Charlotte wins and these two lose, they can jump them as well. Then you have Montreal, who, yes, they're at 40 points. They're turning it on, and they have a really good chance to make the playoffs now, up to 84%. So that's pretty solid, just good form down the stretch. Union, boy, 49% there. We got 44% for DC, 17% for Toronto, 4% for Atlanta, 1% for Nashville. And, they need everything to go their way. So, man, tough. So if you look at these schedules, I guess we'll throw Montreal into there too, just in case like everyone else wins out. They got at Charlotte and New York City FC. Tough, but they've won 3 straight. And they've taken advantage of their schedule. You look at those 4 games. Revolution, on the road draw. Chicago, San Jose, easy wins. At Atlanta, big win. The Union, at Crew, who might rotate this weekend. And then Cincy. So you kind of hope that, you're playing both these teams. They're both going to field pretty good teams. As a Union fan, it's going to be tough. DC plays at New England and Charlotte at home. So my gut says DC is going to make it, which, good for Benteke. Maybe as a pessimistic Union fan, I think DC is going to pick up that last spot. Toronto only has 1 match left. They got to beat Inter Miami, which, could be tough. But if they rotate, could happen. And then I'm not going to talk about the other teams. So let's get to the West. So here's this comment from FBL. What happens with teams like SKC and nothing to play for, play kids, or, play guys from the start? So Sporting Kansas City is an interesting scenario. ATG is the man for them. He shared his lineup with me and I shared mine with him. And it was just like, we're kind of just guessing. I'll say I'm just guessing because, to be honest, not really confident with my lineup there. Johnny Russell made the comment that like he's treating this match against LAFC as like his last home match for Sporting Kansas City. Contract renewal could be in the works, but if he's saying that, I don't know. He might be on the way out, and he's kind of been a club legend. If you look at Vermees, he can really do anything. Throw out a terrible lineup, throw out a good lineup. You just don't know. Absolutely nothing to play for, which is really tough. So, will Melia play? I have him as a starter, but again, so much risk. That's why it's terrible at the end of like any season, any league, it doesn't matter. You start playing the kids. So like on the wings, who's going to start? Is it going to be Russell? Yeah, I lean Russell. Is it going to be Shallowy? I lean him, but we could see Afrifa, we could see Vargas on those wings. So it's kind of a really toss-up. I'm like 60-40 on both of those, which is terrible. You don't want to hear that. Thoughts on final coin shop sale? I mean, it is what it is. It was always dead. I got a bunch of training teams, so that's kind of what I did. And then I'm just going to do raffles for jerseys, not signed jerseys, just jerseys. I would like to hear more about the MLS tickets. Like, am I going to have to go somewhere? Like, is it a specific ticket or, what's the deal with that? So if we hear more on that, maybe I'll go into that. I don't know how many. I got 26,000. So I got 26,000 there. So decent amount of tickets there. Not the worst thing in the world. What are you guys doing? Anyone have an idea of what you want to do? Lewis, what's happening? I'm doing good. Feel a lot better that the lineups are done. That's for sure. Man, that was a 24-hour sweat. Okay, decision day games, and you pick the game. Okay. Thank you for that information. I didn't really run through that too much. So as far as the decision day matches, let's go back over to I'm not even in town that and yeah, I'm in Buffalo, so that's unless I would go like up to Toronto, which I'm not going to. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. So I'm just gonna go for the unsigned jerseys, I think. All right, so the West is a little bit different because as far as the playoff bubble, there isn't one. Austin needs about everything to go right, and it still might not be enough. So there's a lot of things going on, and this is kind of hard to comprehend for most leagues, just because there's like a playoff system for everyone. 50K coins. Nice. You have a solid amount of coins there. Yeah, I would like a random jersey. I like random jerseys. Big jersey guy. DH Gate, shout out again. Already have tickets to the Snooze Fest Dallas SKC final day. Yeah. First championship midweek. Oh yeah. So you got plenty of teams there. That's really brutal. But yeah, like matches last night just gives you like zero time. So like this time last night, a little bit earlier, maybe like 30 minutes earlier, the first matches were just finishing up. And like in my process, maybe I do too much, but I fill in my sheet based on like who played where, because that kind of helps me with lineup predictions, just to see trends, things like that visually. I know I could do it a different way, but like me manually inputting this stuff helps me learn it. Like I can see, okay, what are we seeing in trends, things like that. So like that just kind of helps me personally. That's my process, but I do that, go through all of those. So all these teams don't really have anything to play for, but St. Louis does. They'll play for their coach. He's an interim coach looking to get a job. San Jose, they had kind of a shocking lineup and won. Beating FC Dallas 3-2. They play RSL and at LAFC, so who knows what they're going to put out. As far as that, Sporting Kansas City, yeah, we were talking about that. Dallas, who knows? Again, and then Austin. These teams could field some weird ones. But yeah, not for Dallas's interim coach. I don't think there's any traction there, to be honest. In my opinion. James, what's happening? Jimmy Maurer time. So I went back and forth. Carrera was in the squad, and I would not be surprised if he did get the start. Just to kind of, they have nothing to play for, to see what he's about. Jimmy Maurer, he's retiring at the end of the season, as far as I'm concerned, as far as I know. I just feel like, maybe they'll give him a farewell. But, Pies is out with a minor wrist injury, but he'll have the international break with Indonesia. So I feel like, they're not going to rush him back. He'd rather be healthy for those. And man, yeah, Daniel says, very sad that Jimmy isn't retiring with an L15 of 100. Yeah, that's rough. As far as FBL, as far as their lineup, it's a guessing game. Do they care, or are they going to play youth guys? As far as like Tafari, he didn't play well again, so I could see Omar Gonzalez getting back in. I kind of have that as 60-50 type thing. In the midfield, it could be Show, it could be Salsa Belling. You have Patterson Delgado in there. Illaramendi, I have him at 70%. I think I'm the most confident in the midfield on him. Ariola, 80%, should play. But again, they could just completely rotate and just throw out a different squad because they have nothing to play for. And then like Alan Velasco's played a lot of minutes coming back from that injury. This feels like this could be just like, hey, we're going to rotate you. Make sure you don't get hurt in like a meaningless game. So maybe we see Leggett maybe playing that left wing or left attacking mid position. Musa 75%. Farrington could start. I have Farrington at 50% spread across Jesus Ferreira's side as well. It's just not, yeah, they're not really playing for anything. Yeah, that missed penalty was brutal. I agree. The lineup he was in, I had something else go wrong in it, so it wasn't like a killer. But any news on these two? So yeah, Clark, I mean, his rat tail's still going, so he should be fine. I mean, if he ever cuts off that rat tail, I'd be concerned, but for now, I'm not concerned. If he's going to get into corporate life, he can't have a rat tail. So once that rat tail's still there, we're good there. And Melia, I don't know. He's a penalty kick god, so maybe he keeps doing it. Tough there. I haven't heard any news. Pulsecamp's been there forever, but Peter Vermees that's his guy. So as long as he's around, maybe they're both around. Are they around for another season? I don't know. That's very tough there. And if you take a look at like contract situations, based on he doesn't have a contract next year. So, either retire, did they re-sign him to a year? They have Pulsecamp under contract for 2025 plus a year option. And if you're looking for any contracts, in my Twitter pinned tweet, this is available to everyone. Put a lot of time and effort into this, getting all the contracts and everything like that, but it's very helpful. Like Funtas 2024, you can kind of see who has options for this year. Like Eric Tommy has an option. Extensions. I'm trying to think who got an extension. I highlighted them in green. So like Bodie Hidalgo, who hasn't played lately with the thigh issue. He just got a new deal. Emeka Anelli, new deal. So that's what that green means as well. So that might be helpful. Yeah, he has to play in CONCACAF Champions Cup. That'd be hilarious. Just feels like it. Feels like he should, right? Other than that, it's just toss up for position. And the other thing that I kind of started on, home field advantage in this 8-9 match is pretty big. If you want to move on, Minnesota currently holds it by a point over Portland. You're going to want that. You want to host that match, and then the winner moves on, and you kind of hope. You wouldn't want to play the Galaxy, but look what happened last year. Sporting Kansas City got in, they upset St. Louis, and the rest is history. So it just takes a team to get hot. Time to show us all your play MFL. So the MFL team, still work in progress. I don't think I've logged onto this computer, so I actually don't even know what my login and stuff is, but it's on my laptop. Still working on it. I overspent, that's for sure. So maybe if I can figure out how to, I'll pop that on later. Maybe later, yeah. But I'm definitely gonna record a video on that eventually. Eric Tommy, he's questionable. I wouldn't think he's fit to start. To be honest, I barely have him even as a chance to start. I would not risk him. Just they have nothing to play for. I'd lean he's more doubtful than anything. I think I went 20% on him, but yeah, I don't think there. Detroit Bad Boy, who have you started buying your players? If so, what's your team looking like? Let me see if I can get it going on the background, and I'll see if I can pull her up here, if I can figure out what it is. Don't want to expose my login here, right? Yeah, I think because this is Dapper from, I used to play Top Shot, or not play, but I had Top Shot from the beginning. For a while I messed with that, and I was like, oh yeah, I have this, which is pretty funny. Let's just see if we can figure out this. Now they're sending me a code. All right, I think I'm in. Yeah, so this is just like a side. So if anyone's ever heard of this, I just got into it. So I was interested. You can make your own club. So like use a little bit of AI, but I mean the Windy City Wanderers, because I pulled Chicago and I kind of looked into their history and I was like, I like the Windy City name because that's their kind of nickname of the city. And the Wanderers were one of like the first team in like the 1800s. So I was like, that's kind of cool. Then I used a little AI to create I just typed in like Chicago skyline and like Windy City, and it kind of did that. So I basically so yeah, that's kind of I went. I think I typed in. So if you have Chat GPT, you can type in. It can generate a few, but like sometimes whenever you generate AI, it's like the spelling's wrong. So I had to like kind of tailor it to make sure it was there. How many matches Camacho and Bernadeschi? Bernadeschi is the last match of the season, so unless they make the playoffs, it's one match. Camacho, same thing. Also, when United jersey, I don't like Man United. Like, there's not a lot of teams I don't like, but I just don't like United. I apologize, but I don't. But let's take a look at what I'm running. So, Davidov, what's happening? So I did splurge a little bit because I like the idea of this. So I did actually buy some solid players. Well, maybe not solid, but the green level, I forget what it is, but yeah. So this is kind of the team that I put together. I'm kind of going like an attacking 4-3-3, and I got some speed on the wings and just tried to kind of pick up some guys that were young, so that they could play a bunch of seasons. My club's in like the bottom. So that's kind of, I'm still messing with I haven't done team instructions or anything, but yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to this Arcano guy. He looks fun. He's 5'7", little guy, but not super pacey, but I like his dribbling. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just getting started. I'm going to record a video on like my like intro to it. So yeah, I'm just getting started on that. Send you a Burrow jersey with, yeah, let's go. I could get behind that. Anything Aiden Morris, baby. Anything. No, this isn't free to play. I think it was like $80 to buy a club. And then the players cost different. Like you have to buy the players. It's kind of like a transfer market type thing. You can buy cheap ones. I'm in like literally the bottom division, and I definitely overspent for being in the bottom division. But like the actual like first season's coming out here shortly. So I'm trying to just like start from the bottom and make my way up. But it's like a simulation kind of football manager kind of thing, and it's like in 2D. So it's kind of cool. Just Micah, what's happening? Welcome back. Yeah, that was a crazy match, though. That was crazy. Harry Maguire. Who else? So with all that being said, let's get to what the people came for, right? Let's get to the server probability sheet where we find out, oh, La Liga is back. We took a game week off and La Liga's back. So La Liga 1, we are in limited right now. 166% right now, 48 lineups, 80 rewards. It's going to continue that way. If you can get up there, you're going to be fine. So hopefully you guys have those D1 lineups in La Liga in season. Bundesliga, also some great overlay. D1, if you're up there, great. Prem, 62%, 62.5. Nice prize pulls all around up top. So if you have any of those positions, you gotta feel pretty good. Yeah, it can't be easy to be a United fan either. I don't really have a reason to not like them. It's just kind of like, I don't know. I don't know. But at the same time, like, I don't like City either. Like, I don't know. I think it's more that it's not that I don't like them. It's just like, I don't know. I don't like watching them play currently. So that's I think that's kind of built into that. You got some D2 Bundesliga as well. So like La Liga and Bundesliga are good. Challenger D1, 50% as well. These will change before lock. I did run them. So I I think last game week I ran them like an hour before, and it did change a little bit, but like La Liga still had that overlay, which was nice. Yuya Kuba, unless he gets rotated, yeah, he should, just because he can play so many different positions. Like he can play right center mid. He could play striker, like he's been playing left striker. He can play wing back. He can play a lot of different positions. I believe I have him at like 75% to start. I believe that's what it was. I'll tell you the exact number in a second. Let's see. Yep, 75. So I have it 75%, barring a rotation, which could happen. But yeah, nice. In-season D2 Bundesliga. Let's go. St. Pauli bangs again. Who'd have saw that coming? Man. Not my Atubulu, that's for sure. Man, I did not see that coming. Crazy. Yeah, no problem, David. Then as we get further, so what kind of specials do we have? Austrian Bundesliga. Anyone have Austrian Bundesliga? 7,300 is pretty nice. That's actually not bad. I mean, if you have those cards, that's great. I will not be partaking. Just don't have them. You're in D3 Bundesliga in season. 17%, solid right now. 403 lineups, 70 rewards. I think I just have boxes. I think I have 4 boxes from this midweek. I just, everywhere where I had good players, I made mistakes. Schulte just stinks. I just keep playing him in the wrong lineup, and everyone else goes off except for him. He doesn't do so hot. Yeah, gonna buy some on his few lying around for internationals. FOMO, baby. Yeah, I mean it's a great prize pool. St. Pauli's new manager finally on 433. Okay. I don't know the specifics, that's for sure, with St. Pauli, but yeah, I need a new manager, all that good stuff. What about D4 Bundesliga? Yeah, I'll keep scrolling down. It's probably not great. D4 is tough. Okay, we got 3 classic. Are you saying D4 in season or classic? I'll show them both, but you got in season 6.27% there. 880 is the prize pool, 797 lineups, 50 rewards. And then your classic Bundesliga, 5.59%, 66 rewards for 1,180 lineups. Tough. You really have to get out of these and kind of move up, even though if it's tough, like you kind of got to get them out of there. My best lineup was Kalina. Yeah. I have Chicago scored 3 all season. That's kind of the thinking I had there. That was crazy brutal. And then do we have any other specials? Anti-stacks, right? Yeah, there we go. Anti-stacks 5% chance. But if you have a good lineup in these, there's a lot of like not great lineups. Everyone's just kind of throwing in their last 3 lineups in there. It's winnable. Like the Cap 200 one, I smashed. I did really well there. It's not like I even prioritized that one. Where this one, like, you're not going to probably play your best players in there, but it is worth a look. I know it's only 5% rewards, but if you can smash, it's definitely worth it. I did kind of just glance over Legends. Where are they at? Are they even in here? Probably just not seeing it. Can't be this high, right? I didn't even know there was a Legends. I just kind of glossed over. I don't even see it. So if you guys see it, I don't have any Legends, if you have them, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at Rare, see if there's any similarities, any differences. La Liga, who would have thought? Wow, that's a surprise. Up top. Some overlay there. 10.2K, that's great. Bundesliga 1, 79%. Prem 1, 70%. That's nice. Good morning. So that is really tough. Crooks is kind of, I thought that Gonzalez would kind of get into the lineup a little bit easier and play that central attacking mid role that Crooks is playing, but Crooks is kind of playing in decent form. I would like to see Luna on the left and, Gonzalez up the middle, but it seems like they're kind of just rotating the 2 of them on the left, which is annoying. But yeah, I would like to see them both start together. Maybe they're saving it for the playoffs, but yeah, it's tough. Hey, Control F, yeah. That's all right. To be honest, sorry. I'm not gonna stop at the legends. Yeah, you couldn't play the big hitters. Andy Size, you could play Messi, you could Joe Wagner in the same team. Yeah, sure you can, but like Philly doesn't have a good matchup. You know, you still play the matchups. You can still get it done. It just kind of depends. Yeah, Cap 200, obviously you can't play like anyone, but I would argue that Cap 200, my gallery of a ton of players that, you know, have those. Like I had Quinn Sullivan, multiple of them. He smashed. He was in a really good spot. I think, you know, the bigger galleries, if they really wanted to play that, they're going to have these guys that are like A plus, you know, matchups that they can smash that too. So, but I do think, like, I agree. 200 was easier for the masses as far as comparing to others. But anything else that pops out here? Austrian Bundesliga at Rare is kind of crazy. 32% for a special, 7,700. That's actually pretty juicy for the Rare. So interesting there. Some decent stuff here. Some of these third divisions aren't terrible right now, but we'll see more lineups get in there, I'm sure. Here's your Legends special for Rare. Sorry, I'm not going to go back to Limited. I'm sure it's around the same 12% there. If you got your Legends, dial them up, baby. It's one thing I never got into, and gladly. And then anti-stacks, however you want to say it, 5% here. Again, yeah. I'm not going to prioritize it. That's kind of not what I'll look for, but yeah, is what it is. Yeah. I mean, it's not FOMO if it works, right? And if it's, you know, it's not FOMO if it doesn't work either. You just have to kind of tell yourself that. So let's get into the fixtures. MLS first, as always. LA Galaxy at the top against Austin. Will they rotate a little bit? With the match of Austin, you know, coming off a good result, out though, they don't really have a chance. They have like a less than 1% chance. It's hard. Peck is on what, 3 straight 100s. He's been so good. Ricky Puig, you know, you expect those two guys to play, but do they think they have it in hand and rotate guys? I don't know. The break being after this, it just seems like, you know, let's say they get up a couple goals, then maybe they maybe they rotate. Yeah, that Fiorentina, I was gonna say, I can't believe that didn't work for 70 minutes. Like that was pretty crazy. New York City FC against Nashville. Santi Rodriguez off the yellow card accumulation suspension, goal and assist last match. Absolutely smashed. I'm in the wrong lineup, of course. Columbus 62% against Philly. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Portland against Dallas should be in a really good spot. Evander, while he didn't get 100, just no decisives. He did score 60 on AA, which is fine. That's like his low. But 100 alert again, most likely there. Charlotte, Montreal, intriguing matchup. Montreal's in a really good form. Charlotte kind of bounced back to get into better form. They're scoring some goals. Cincy, Orlando, man, that's going to be a crazy playoff matchup. Vancouver, Minnesota, Ryan Gall, they're probably going to keep playing it safe with him. I just can't see him back in the fold yet. Then jump down to the bottom. Real Salt Lake, away favorites, 49% against San Jose. That's not really shocking, but I can't really trust Real Salt Lake at the moment. They have moments of good things, but I don't know. I don't really trust them. Then back, we got New England, DC. New England, 45%. I don't know about that. DC's playing really well. You know, if they get a draw here, it's going to force Philly to do something. And I don't think Philly's going to get a point against Columbus. Columbus's B team ran them out of the water before. So we'll see on that. Colorado, Seattle. Again, Colorado's been struggling. Cole Bassett probably out again. It kind of shows how much they need him. Toronto, Inter Miami. Toronto is favored 43%. Is that a trap? Does that kind of lean that maybe Messi doesn't start, maybe Suarez doesn't start, maybe a bunch of these guys don't start? They are missing 2 guys on yellow card accumulation. So there are some, question marks. That's for sure. Daniel, Captain Lucho or Rusnak? Yeah, I'm a Gator guy is a homie. I can't wait for the episode to come out tomorrow. If you haven't seen his new show, Sorare Homies, very cool. I kind of like hearing the background about people. I think that's really awesome. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely check that out. Just kind of hearing Laird's story, because it kind of overlaps with me, not like completely, but with me working at RotoWire now, not at the level that he was. Like, he was running the whole show there, most of the show there, where I just write articles. I'm a low man on the totem pole there, but pretty cool. And yeah, I would go with Lucho there. Speaking of homies, are you the guest? Are you the guest? Andy, I really hope you are the guest tomorrow. Like, I look forward to Fridays. I don't know if he releases every Friday, but it's just like coincidence. They just release the back to back, but I definitely look forward to it. Daniel, I will be. I am on the list. I'm on the list. I don't know when or what Friday, but I'm on the list. I could be the 30th person, but I am on that list. Jimmer, yeah, Jimmer's got to be on there. We need some Sorare After Dark in our life. If you haven't been around for Sorare After Dark, it's a great experience. Black is back in black, baby. What's up, Rose? Yeah, so Sorare Homies, great show, great plug. Really looking forward to that. There's a lot of content in the space that like I usually get. If anyone's doing the steps challenge, I've been listening that way. It's been passing the time to get the steps. This would be day 14 if you started with Laird on day 1. Just finished it. Feel good there. 14 straight days of 10K steps. Hasn't been easy, not gonna lie. 10,000 steps is kind of a lot, depending, like, if you sit around for a while, it kind of catches up to you and you're like, man, I gotta go on like a 6,000 step walk. But then you have like the Sorare data show that you can just knock it out there and kind of go from there. So if there wasn't the content, I like to listen to music, but at the same time, I'm a big podcast guy, and I'd rather like either learn something or, be entertained that way. So last few matchups, St. Louis favored against Houston, and another road matchup, LAFC 42.92% at Sporting Kansas City. I would have thought that would have been a little bit higher, but yeah, interesting for sure. All right, so let's open it back up and let's go, not all, because All-Star's not available. Let's go to Champ, see who's at the top. And Champ, Leverkusen time, 91.74%, 3.43 XG. Dang, that is crazy high, and they're probably going to score 4, so maybe not high enough. They have a whopping 71%, which is great, tremendous. That's crazy. They're going to possess the ball like crazy. Lazio against Empoli, another crazy difference there in terms of possession. Oh, we freezing out here? Yes, we are. There we go. For Houston, will Clark, Steres, and Bassi start? Steres, no. He only started because there was a suspension to Dorsey. He will not start unless there's a suspension or an injury to the 2 outside backs. Bassi should be good. He got subbed early, but just managing minutes, so he should be fine. There's no injury as far as I saw in that one. How crazy. How good is Paul Rothrock, though? I mean, I didn't see that coming. That every year there's something that's just insane. One player that just skyrockets, and it's Paul Rothrock. I did not have him on my bingo card, that's for sure. Yeah, the Leverkusen lineup, a lot of these lineups should be tough with the Champs League and everything like that. Yeah, Jesus is a fraud. Everyone knows that. Ronaldinho's second coming. Yeah, I mean, see that penalty he drew? Only he could do that. Arsenal against Southampton up top 2. Marseille against Angers. Yeah. City against Fulham. Yeah, we got a lot of good ones. Will Messi, Alba, Busquets play, you think? There's some risk with the limited amount of center backs. Busquets might be at center back again just because based on options that they have. David Martinez is close to coming back, but not ready yet. Messi, I think he could rotate, sure. Alba, sure, he could. Like, we could see Negri. We could see maybe like Rojas play right wing, or, Gressel. Gressel will be fresh. He should start. I have them all in my starting lineup, but at lesser percents than they usually do. Central process is going through every possible lineup on. Do I go 94 Challenger Classic or 88 in season? I would probably lean in season. I kind of prioritize in season pretty much every time. Yeah, that acceleration is crazy, and that was a great goal. Just angle it in with your body. Love it. Messi out of Argentina squad? I'm not actually sure. Wiki's always our friend. Sometimes Wiki's good, sometimes bad. Okay, let's see. October 10th. Yeah, these ones. He's in the squad. So their match is October 10th, and the 5th is the match. So yeah, he won't be leaving early, but you never know. Could be rotations. Seattle stack with Bouanga, nice. Yeimar, Rusnak, Rothrock, good stuff. Mbappe out of France squad. The old international break. I plan on buying some cards. What could possibly go wrong over the international break of guys who aren't internationals? And using that forecast feature here to find some matchups. Do the Real Betis type thing. That's kind of the angle, try to find some players to get promoted, because I've been struggling to get promoted, kind of been bouncing back and forth. I would not play Ryan Gauld. No, they're definitely going to take it easy with him. He'll be questionable, but that's not a risk that I'd be willing to take personally. I don't have Ryan Gauld though, so I don't have to make that decision. But if it was me, I would not be playing him. And I'm pretty risky in like my bottom lineups, but I wouldn't play him. We have Inter against Torino, Juve, Cagliari. So a lot of Serie A here. Chelsea, Forest, that should be another one. Chelsea continue their form. Atalanta, Genoa. Yeah, a lot of champion Serie A matchups here. A little French league. West Ham, is it their time? Against Ipswich. Lyon, Turkey, baby. I knew it. It's about time. Turkey time. Great to see. It's just fun to watch him play. I know there's a ton of hype behind him, but like, it's fun to watch him play. Is he going to be like the next insert name here? No, but it's there. It's just, can he put it together for more than one match or more than 30 minutes at a time? I'm not going to go any further in this. And champ, let's go to Challenger, where everyone cares about. Oh, who would have thought? Sporting Lisbon, 90%. PSV, shocker, 86%. Galatasaray against Alanyaspor, 76%. And then we got a shocker, Utrecht against Walwick, 74%. So fire up your McNulty's to see play for Utrecht. I can't remember. I think so. Turkey's absurd. Yeah, Fofana. Both of those guys smashed. Yeah, you love to see it. Westerlo against Beerschot. So we got some teams that aren't always up here. And LA Galaxy, let's go. Your boys. I was going to say somebody in here, I couldn't remember who, definitely has them. And this is the dream matchup that you're looking for. You don't always see MLS teams up here, so it's nice to see. It's a little bit more spread out. We have the usual suspects up top, but Anderlecht against Standard Liège, Atletico Mineiro, little Brazil action. New York City, as we talked about, Burnley against Preston North End, Başakşehir, Kayserispor, go ahead Eagles. Okay, maybe they get it right here against Heracles. Porto against Braga. So, Porto doesn't have the best of matchups. Antwerp against Cercle Bruges. I'll be firing up my lemons. Feyenoord against Twente. More MLS. Heerenveen, pretty high up here. That's crazy. Vasco, Ronders, Bristol City, and Bruges, Union SG, Coventry's Sheffield Wednesday, and then we get to kind of okay matchups. Let's see where we're at. Okay, double international game weeks. Guler and Kvaratskhelia, nice. I mean, that should be a great strategy. Yeah, Philly stack. I mean, listen, I'll play them somewhere. But yeah, Gift Orban. Yeah, rip those stacks for sure. There's been so much Belgian league turnover. I already did that, sorry. Galaxy, Middlestat, Verts, Guler. Oh yeah. Double game week, man. You are in a really good shape there. Wow. Beautiful. I did make some buys. I overspent, so I don't really want to show how much I spent, but they were necessary, and they were kind of on the back burner of who I was going to get. So I got some more Stuttgart players, and I got my in-season keeper. So I got an old season Middlestat just because the price difference was so big that it kind of made sense, even though I have a bunch of Stuttgart cards. And then I did end up getting a keeper, an in-season keeper, just to kind of open it up so I could play Middlestat. As far as, I could have went the other way around, but I don't have a Bundesliga in-season keeper. So I went that way. Yeah. So I did it. I did a thing. For now, I'm keeping Van Dijk, but I honestly wonder, should I sell him? I do have an EPL in season, so I played him there. But am I wasting him? I might be. It just kind of depends matchup wise. If Brighton doesn't have a good matchup, or like some of these other guys don't have a good matchup, I'm kind of wasting them. But I did pick up Carvajal as well in like the same kind of run out, which he's been good since I got him. First match was nice. So I have some Brentford cards. It's just kind of, I have a decent amount of like, okay, I have 3 players from this team, 3 players from this team. So like, it's not bad. And then the Stuttgart boys. And then the Carter Vickers, if anyone, I win him and he gets hurt. Haven't been able to sell him. I would like to sell him just to reinvest the funds elsewhere. So who do you think the random DMP for Brighton? I have no idea. That is no idea whatsoever there. That's for sure. Messi and Alba start, they should, but there is some risk of rotation. I went 70% for both of them. Alba was rotated before for Negri, so there is a chance there. Back to that Ghent talk. Yeah, Kuipers, he went to Chicago, and just everything goes to die in Chicago, not just in football. JDS, Orban, Sven Coombs, Black's boy, San Juan's, yeah, and Black is what I'm talking about. Absolutely. Yeah. So that's why I was like, I'm gonna hold on to Van Dijk, just because it can match up. Miss the days. Oh yeah, did he go to the China League? Because he was like one of my first like threshold guys that I had, and he was great there. I had him and Sven Coombs. When everyone else goes for Nation League stack, we go for Colombia stacks with the game against Bolivia. Nice. Yeah. There you go. Your Colombia boys. Colombia's fun to watch if you can find a stream. Okay, so we went through Challenger. Let's go through Contender. See what we got. Then I'll do the individual leagues as well. It is nice to see just kind of to get an idea of the landscape, and then this kind of bodes well with you just rapid fire your MLS questions as we're doing it. So Rangers, fresh off. Sorry if any Scottish fans in there, but it is kind of refreshing to see them, take their medicine whenever they usually dominate, in Sorare. So nothing against people that enjoy it, but I kind of enjoyed it. They're at the top of, so if you have Rangers players, yeah, you're fine. You're playing St. Johnston. Hey Ty, I said about Messi, 70%. And Berkey, it looks like he is trending to start. It was more of a rest last match. The St. Louis expert just heat. I just got team experts for a few teams. He has him as his starter. I thought it was kind of a toss up personally, but I didn't see the press or anything, which I would follow him more. LASK, I would say Lask, and I don't know how you say it. It's one of those things. It's like I used to say CSK Moscow, but it's Siska, or I could even be wrong in that. But yeah, it's against your Klagenfurt boys. So yeah, Austrian Bundesliga, baby. Do you ever do lineup builds for subscribers? I mean, I've never done it. I would. Absolutely, I would at some point. if like random stream or whatever, sure. Last home game, they should go for it. Yeah. Can't hold anything back now, right? Colo, did they have any cards? Yeah, Messi will not start. He's saying Messi will not start. I mean, I think there's a significant risk for sure. Just so many games in back-to-back, but I don't know. I think there's still a chance that Messi starts, just not as high as normal. They are still going for the record, but he could come off the bench. I think Messi will play in some capacity. So you got Zenit up top. Yeah, some of these teams. Tigres, there we go. Black, a little bit of Leah Emehi in the house against Puebla. More Russian league that no one cares about. With Krasnodar. LDU Quito, Paderborn, little Cruz Azul, Necaxa. Come on, the Necaxa boys. You have a classic Lunev lying around for anti-stack. Moscow. We got Locomotive. We got Spartak. Or are they on the road? Are they going to make us? Speak of the devil. There you go. 41.15% for Moscow, and the clean sheet looks like 26% there. Katalika, 41.15% against O'Higgins there. Yeah. Dynamo, yeah. Makes sense. Cucho, Acosta, and Gald. So Cucho, there's that rotation risk. Again, all these guys have rotation risks. Most of them. Acosta wouldn't be one of them, in my opinion. 90% on Acosta, 70% on Cucho. Similar to like Messi, but I think maybe Messi's a little bit more risky. We could definitely see Gressel play that position after not playing last match. And then Gald, I would not risk. He'll probably be questionable. Even if he does start, it's just they're going to save him for playoffs. But yeah. Yeah. Any other ones that are kind of note? I don't really, I play this region, but like, I don't really play this region. It's kind of like my last kind of, I have a few pieces and kind of just throw cards together. A few Mexican League pieces. So I'm not going to go any further than that. Let's just go to the three main. Prem, we talked about the matchups mainly, but Brentford have a solid matchup against Wolves, 50%. You have your Arsenal, City, Chelsea. No problem, tie high. And then as you get further down, the last Man United, road dogs. Then you got, as far as away favorites, Liverpool against Palace, Newcastle, same odds as Bournemouth on the road against Leicester, and Tottenham against Brighton. So not really a wide open because you have Arsenal and City up top. This feels like there could be some rotation that might be a little bit tricky. So maybe if you have some of these other teams, like maybe if you have West Ham and you can predict the lineup, you might be in for a decent one. Did I not look up the right one? Maybe I didn't look up the right one. To be honest, they all look the same, and I kind of just sometimes if you don't search accents. Which one is it? Is it the Ecuador one, or is it the? No idea where that would be. Is it the Chile or the Ecuador one? Oops. Because that's what the difference is here. I didn't even realize there's two. Okay, so the Chile one, so that's why the difference there. So this one, the O'Higgins one. Okay, gotcha. But at the same time, yeah, it doesn't make sense to rotate before an international break. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. On Twitch, Gay Orchestra, thanks for coming in. It's always fun to see just the random bots or whatever it is, spam, whatever you want. I got Forest, Bournemouth, Brentford, and Wolves. All right. So let's go to what do we think? Bundesliga next or La Liga? We'll go La Liga. Real Madrid up top against Villarreal. Getafe. Wow, it is wide open outside of Real Madrid and Barca. So pretty even. It's a pretty good name, yeah. I don't play La Liga, so this is kind of just all over. Yeah, the 80% is deceiving. Yeah, it's pretty high. And Bundesliga. Leverkusen, we talked about them a little bit. Stuttgart. So will there be rotation for them? There's a lot of things that play into it. Yes, is a great, but like that midweek utility. Who else playing? Bayern playing Frankfurt in Leipzig. So your usual suspects plus Stuttgart, I guess you could kind of add in there. St. Pauli, we talked about them earlier. Augsburg against Gladbach. Yeah, so outside of these guys, Dortmund on the road. All right. Yeah. Isn't the worst whenever you get into that? You're like, I'm trying to build these lineups, other things are happening. And then you're like, I've only built 6 lineups and I have forever to go. It's very disappointing whenever you get into that role. I also want to go to the Austrian Bundesliga special because is it this one? Nope, that is. Sometimes it struggles with it. So we have to go to all and Austrian Bundesliga. Rangers were up top. They were very high. We'll go back to them. They were the top, I believe. They're number 1 in contender. So LASK was brought up against Klagenfurt, so that's your best one. Austria Vienna against Grazer, interesting. Wolfsberger against Hartberg up top, and then the Rapid Vienna against Althoff. as the biggest road favorite. So you got some road favorites, you got some home favorites, kind of split there, right down the middle. Interesting. See you next week then. After last week's rotation disaster, everyone knows Barca's going to smash. Yeah, Rangers. Yeah. Yep, they are in good shape here. So, next up, let's check out some Sorare data, pick scores. Again, I like going to under 23, see what we got for goalies. See who's at the top. We've kind of already touched on some of them. Big names up here. You know, Trubin's always going to kind of be up there as a AAA matchup, no matter who they're playing. Nashi now. Yeah. You hate seeing, there we go. Got one up here. Got two, got three. So yeah, we got a full slate, so don't really have to look at anything really there. As far as anything else, to be honest, I am pretty exhausted. So hit me with your MLS questions. We'll run it, a little bit longer. But outside of that, I still got to build my lineups, and I'm going to crash so hard tonight. Hopefully get a better sleep score than yesterday. Tempted to go by the Jean-Book goalkeeper. I don't mess around too much outside of Sanfrecce. In any Asia whatsoever, K-League, J-League. It's just kind of, I have a few pieces like Savio and others. So yeah. Long work week. Yeah. Friday, baby. Friday tomorrow. Falling asleep. Training. Yeah. Training will put you to sleep. That's for sure. Training will definitely put you to sleep. Yeah. This is the one, right? Yeah, 21, cheap for new season. I mean, not that like under 23, it should be like the same price because it's kind of the same unless they're, a smasher. Not a terrible price. Good matchup. Daegu against the Cena. Yeah, interesting. They should. I think out of that list, the one that I would have a little bit more question would be Bogusz, just as a chance he rotates, just because they have so many options at the moment. But you feel good about the rest. Bogusz, I'm still like 75%, but he's just slightly less than the rest. Daniel, you work Sunday through Thursday, but barely work on Sunday. Nice. So yeah, you don't have to worry about tomorrow. Love to hear that. Nice. They do need to lock it up as far as Galaxy. There's 6 points, but let's say LFC wins. They pull it to 3. So there's a chance. There's a chance that 92% they win the West, 8% chance. I think they'll want to lock it in, get the 3 points. Don't mess around with Austin, and then just take the break and then come back again. So like guys like Ricky Puig, Peck, they should start. Maybe we see 1 or 2 rotations. Like I can see Neil playing. Garza's, I feel like he's a starter now. He's looked good. They've looked different. He's physical. He does a lot of good things. So maybe Neil comes in for him. A couple things. Hoodwink, Cecilia. That's his squad. Yeah. That's a good question. Etienne versus Miami. Miami, like Insigne, has calf issues in both calves, so I just don't see him playing. Bernadeschi's out, so like Etienne should, in theory, start. Assad, a little bit better matchups. That's kind of a tough one there. Yeah, tough one. I guess I don't know, man. That's a really good question. Red or dead? I don't know. Austin's been a problem for everyone. Yeah, I mean, they're hit or miss. Definitely hit or miss. You look at their recent loss at home against Dynamo, but at Timbers, that's a good result. Drew with RSL. Seems like RSL's losing points late. Drew at LAFC. So, yeah, they're in pretty good form there. I'm wondering that too. Does he just is he done for the season? I think they should just get rid of him because he just doesn't care. It seems like, yeah, chance is sought. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Off to bed, Ronan. Thanks for coming in as usual. Evander for MVP. We'll talk on Monday about his 100. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to cover. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, I feel like that's a good stop. If anyone has any questions, you can DM me. I haven't been able to answer DMs like all day, so if you DM me, I wasn't ignoring you. Just been pretty much, working the entire time on getting these lineups out. So if you are a subscriber on any of the Sorare Inside Predictorfy Sorare probabilities, I appreciate you because that's how I get compensated for the hours I put in, and I appreciate everyone. So Ayala, is he available? That's a toss-up. So he just started. He went 89 minutes, so he seemed fine. On that quick turnaround, I have Paredes as a starter, but it's a 50-50. Just because him coming off that injury, it was just a lower body knock. It wasn't anything crazy. After that 54-minute sub, I just think they might go back to Paredes and then Ayala off the bench. But again, it's another toss-up, but you hate having toss-ups. Off to bed, I advise checking my Brighton lineup again in the morning after a press conference. Good luck. Good luck, Lewis. I appreciate everything you do, especially going over those morning press conferences. That's got to be tough for you. But I appreciate it. Absolutely. Have a good night, Lewis. All right. Red or Dead, I appreciate you as well. And again, like I said, any other questions, let me know. And I'll catch you on Monday. Again, great showing here. And hopefully we come back and some of you guys in the chat had a great weekend and, your box polls were great and we're talking about them on Monday. So let's go. Good luck. And, last midweek / weekend of MLS, penultimate weekend. I'm ready for it to be over. It's tough to say, but I'm kind of ready for it to be over. It's a grinding season for me. And once I hit the end, man, I'm just so burnt out. But playoffs will be nice because less teams playing. And less utility. So thanks for coming in, and we will see you next time. See ya.